Hello friends, my name is Rev. Come here. And this is Winston. He doesn't want to be on camera. And the unmitigated disaster that you can see behind me is my 1986 Ford E150. And we are going on a road trip of sorts. This is really kind of my full test run of really intending to live in the van for an extended period of time. So my intention for the next 2 months is to actually drive around and visit 11 national parks. I started out in New Orleans and we're going to end up in Las Vegas. But we are going to take some we'll call it the long way around. We are going to swing into California and Utah, and then of course between here and Vegas there's also Texas, which is where we're heading first, which is the Big Bend National Park. Then we're going to New Mexico and Arizona, and I'm going to take you guys all along for the ride. So I'm super excited. Can't wait to kind of explore everything with you and see the sights and see if there's some new national parks to add to my top 10 list. I've only got 3 on there so far, so we got to add some more. All right. I have just left New Orleans, and I've just stopped to get gas and get what ended up being a really large thing of Sprite. I'm sorry to myself. You know, I pulled it out and then I was like, oh my god, it's so big, and then you can't put it back. So yeah, if it makes you feel better, it's mostly full of ice because I'm gonna put water in it later. But now what we're gonna do is hang out for just a minute here and relax, and then we're gonna get back on the road. We've got 13 hours until until we reach Big Bend National Park. I intend to stop before that point. It's about 2 o'clock right now, so we are gonna drive really until I get tired of driving, and then we'll finish the drive tomorrow, which is Sunday. So let's go ahead and head out. Him. Oh my goodness, hello baby. Oh my goodness, I scared you. Oh, you just popped right up. Yes, oh hello. All right, bye-bye. All right, you guys, I think we are heading into Buc-ee's. So, should I get my aunt a Mardi Gras Buc-ee shirt? I bought her a Christmas Mardi Gras, or excuse me, a Christmas Buc-ee shirt. So maybe she needs that. I gotta find. They have every kind of tchotchke you could ever think of, plus 10. Oh my goodness. All right, I've returned from my Buc-ee adventure, and I thought that I had put this bag of dentist sticks, which is hilarious of size, by the way. I thought I'd put it where Winston couldn't reach it, but he reached it. And he ripped a giant hole in it. Obviously they're giant dentist sticks, and he tried to make a dent, but he did not succeed. Now I'm gonna have to find a bag for these and store them more securely. Yes, they're giant. No, I didn't quite realize the size when I ordered them, but we have come out of Buc-ee's. Winston is still alive. Here he is. Here's proof. He is alive. Yes, but you're a bad boy. No. Okay. I have turned on my map light. I know, overhead light. It's a map light. I only have the one at the moment, but I picked up 2 things. I was really craving some chocolate, but I really don't want a lot of chocolate, so I got 2 of these, 2 bars each. So this will solve my chocolate craving. And then I also picked up a sandwich as well. And then I did pick up one of those Mardi Gras shirts for my aunt, but it is in the back. Hopefully she actually likes Buc-ee's, because at this point, you know, I'm starting to slowly collect Buc-ee's. She's not going to get a Valentine's one because she won't wear pink, but we're slowly but surely collecting them. So by the time I see her again, we're going to have a lot. All right, I'm going to eat this, and then we're going to head back out on the road for a couple more hours, and probably park a little early, and then try and tackle the giant mess in the back of the van. So, talk to you guys later. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Always crying all the time. Oh, woo, woo. Oh, woo, woo. Oh, woo, woo. All right. Well, this is our first night. I've done some cleaning off camera. There was originally a giant pile of stuff here, and now we'll call it cleaning phase 1. Some of the stuff has been put away, and some of it exists just off of camera, or possibly also on camera. So we'll call that phase 2 cleaning. I don't know. I need to sit down and like go through and really figure out spacing. It's some of the choices that I made in the beginning with my storage were not the best choices, and that is coming back to bite me. And that's the life that I'm living right now. Somehow I have too much stuff and not enough space, which is kind of the average problem, isn't it? So it's about 9 o'clock now. I'm gonna just hang out. Already fed Winston. Not gonna worry about my mess until tomorrow. That's a tomorrow Lindsay problem. And then we'll keep heading on the road towards Big Bend National Park. We have about 9 hours, which I imagine will be like 10 or 11. So we'll probably get there Sunday evening and then explore probably on Monday. I took Monday off, so that works out. We'll explore on Monday. Good morning, everyone. I slept terribly. You can see it on my face. It's a foggy morning. I don't know if you can see that, but Winston's just having his dinner or breakfast quick, and then I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna pick up a couple of things, and then we're gonna head out.
No way, how did that get on my screen? These are the brand new Warrior states. No idea how these.
Texas is a big state. I think we all know that. But every time I'm here, I'm just reminded, my God, it's a big state. It's just driving through nothingness. Every time I end up in the center of the state, it's just hot. I just drove through San Antonio, and it's hot. It was 70 degrees in February, and it's just too hot, even for me. Now I'm in the southwestern part of Texas, thereabouts. I have about 300 miles before I actually get there, which is in 5 hours. The time is ticking. It's 6:34, so I've been sitting here for a minute. I want to get there because the camping site that I booked, which I think is called the Chisos Basin, it says it has a steep and winding road to get to it, and that you can't have a vehicle over 20 feet. Mine is not over 20 feet, but also I don't really want to drive in the dark on a steep and winding road. This is why I shouldn't be allowed to book things at 2 a.m. when I can't sleep. So that's my next plan. I had to stop and get out. Winston had to stop and get out. Come here. He needed a break. He's tired of listening to 90s country. That's literally all I've been listening to for like 2 hours. And I'm tired of it. I stopped, and to continue my journey of irresponsible purchases, I have acquired Trident Vibes, which is red berry flavor Sour Patch. So for $7.39, you too could be the proud owner of 40 of these sugar-free pieces of gum. I was just looking for something, I think I have ADHD. I've never been formally diagnosed, but it is tough to drive for long periods, and I kind of just bounce around between podcasts, books, playing with fidget toys, using like a barbell weight, listening to music. And I also chew a lot of gum. I have suckers, I have gum, just anything to keep myself distracted whilst driving for long periods. Or entertained, I guess. I don't know. But we're gonna try one and see what we think of it. This has turned into an impromptu taste test. Will it be sour? Will it be tasting like red berry? What even is red berry? We're gonna find out. Well, oh, there it is. There's the sour. It does taste like whatever the color red is flavored with these days. Red dye number 40. Oh, I passed a giant Matthew McConaughey sign. I suppose it would make sense that he's from Texas, but middle of nowhere. Matthew McConaughey. So, yeah. At least now we've entered a point where it's cloudier and rainier and cooler, which is great. So hopefully things will stay cool the rest of the drive. We won't run into too many issues. I do want to figure out a way to watch or listen to the Super Bowl, which I think is unlikely. But I am going to look briefly so I can at least listen to it. Maybe there's a radio station. Go old school. And see where we go from there. No bark. Hi there. Sorry about that. Stop.
Easy, pup. Anybody else in the vehicle with you, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you. I don't know where this is, but it's so beautiful I had to turn my car around and be irresponsible and get honked at by a semi-driver. I wasn't anywhere near him, okay, but he did see that I was being irresponsible and he chastised me. But it is so beautiful. Guess who accidentally left this running for 46 minutes of nothing while I'm driving? Well, I'll probably watch through it and just see if there's anything interesting, but I don't think so. It was really just me staring into space, desperately trying to get from point A to point B when there is no internet. I was listening to music that I downloaded 17 years ago, back when it was a little easier to steal music. I downloaded most of the music from the Twilight movies. Now, listen, I realize that Twilight is a controversial topic, but I liked the music back then, at least from the first film for the most part. It was more like alternative. I hadn't really heard it very much. And you know what? I do have some nostalgia. I read the books as a teenager when they came out. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the films, even though they're objectively terrible. But that's what makes them fun. So we have finally made it to Marathon, which is an hour and a half outside of where we're actually going, which is the Chisos Basin campground. I booked a campground for the evening, and my goal is to ideally get there before sunset. Sun is setting as we speak, so I don't know how likely that's going to be, but we're going to try. I stopped at the grocer. It's called the French Company. I assumed that this town would have maybe a larger grocer, but the only place I found was literally here. And actually, this place is super cool. I should have filmed some of inside. I might stop here again in the morning before I leave, or whatever I plan to do tomorrow. I don't know. The world's my oyster. I can do what I want. But it's really cool. It had they had gotten some items in from Asia, actually. They had onigiri, which is like a little rice ball that's shaped like a triangle, and like Asian and Korean drinks, and I was like, this is very random to find in the middle of nowhere, along with like snacks and drinks. And I picked up a couple things. I picked up a thing of ramen. I felt like that was necessary. Don't know when I'm gonna eat it. Could eat it tonight, don't know, but I thought it'd be a good single thing to have. I did pick up 2 of these sandwiches. These are turkey breast, cheddar, and bell pepper, and they gave free mayo and mustard, so I appreciate that. $8.25 for this. Not too bad. I mean, I spent about $8 earlier today on a sandwich from Subway, so I mean, not all that different. And then I also picked up these 2 bagels. Figured breakfast for tomorrow. I have peanut butter in here somewhere, and I have a toaster in here somewhere. God knows if we'll find it and pull it out, but we'll try. So I figured that was good. In total, you know, I spent money for being here in the middle of nowhere. So I spent $26 on that little mini haul, which is a lot. They had the protein drinks, like the little ones, for $4.75. So needless to say, I was not doing that. But next time I'm like in a major city is to get regular groceries. I should have done that before coming here. I didn't really think it through. Story of my life. Not really, but you know. And then gas was also quite expensive here too. I had burned through an entire tank, 22 gallons I burned through. I'm glad I stopped when I got gas when I did, which is the last time I filmed. And I had 0.6 gallons left when I made it here. The cost for gas here is much more expensive, but I get it because legitimately we are in the middle of nowhere. Like I didn't have cell service for like 2 hours, and then I had it for a second, and then I didn't have it again for another hour. So we're in the middle of nowhere. So I paid $3.22 a gallon for my gas. I still have a backup, you know, my other tank, which is 19 gallons. But before that, I had paid $2.44 a gallon, so that's quite the jump. But honestly, totally reasonable. You can gouge people out if you want, but also you got to get it here. It's in the middle of nowhere. I understand the extra cost. At the moment, I'm just hanging out because I am trying to download a map, an offline map of Big Bend National Park, or at least a portion of it. I don't have Wi-Fi, so I'm using my mobile data, and that's part of the reason why we're just kind of hanging out. I'm gonna also eat my sandwich. I'm sure it'll be good. Probably give Winston some of the peppers on it. He'll eat anything. He likes spinach, which I love. And then we will head out. We have another 1.5 hour long drive, but I wanted to make absolutely certain if I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere, like for realsies nowhere, that I had a map. So somebody's gotta have some pepper.
Hi, I'm a field agent. I ask questions.
Good morning. Welcome to the disaster. It is the back of the van. Winston doesn't care. But one of our goals for today, since I took Monday off, is to try and clean this van. We're not doing it here. I think the plan is we're going to get up. We're going to go for WALK. And then we are going to go back into town. And I'm going to clean up some of this van because it's driving me insane. And we're going to get this figured out. And make it a little bit easier for me to access things. You don't get to see my face. You get to see his face, because I am not dressed and ready for the world yet. And we're on day 3 here, so God knows how that's gonna go. Winston's finishing his breakfast, and I've climbed my way out to an absolutely beautiful view. I mean, my goodness. No wonder people come here to camp. I always take pretty photos, and I never remember to put my pretty self in them. So here I am. The sun, it burns. But look at that background! If I could time travel, I would have probably bought a van like this. But I didn't really think it through during the COVID years. And I just happened to spot my baby. And she was $4,500, and I'd hazard a guess this was probably a lot more, so maybe I made out in the end anyway. Although having a taller roof would be nice, and even put solar panels on there just like I did. So it's pretty cool. It is a Dodge. My aunt sticks pretty firmly with Fords, and since she fixed up the van, I don't know if I could convince her to let me buy a Dodge. But it's pretty nice. She said no Chevys either. Sorry to the Dodge and Chevy lovers who might actually be watching this. Alright, how dumb do I look? Comment down below. Okay, it's not too bad, I guess. I'm just, I don't like tying my hair back because it gives me a headache, so we're going this route. Oh, God. I've already been in the sun for too long. I'm not exactly allergic to sun, but maybe I am. I don't know. I'm mildly allergic to the sun. So I just drove up to the Chisos Basin Visitor Center. I was really hoping to be able to wash my hands more thoroughly than with water from my drinking water bottle. But alas, there is indeed no water in the park. They're currently going through a drought, which I imagine as the weather gets warmer will only get worse. So that is quite unfortunate for them, but they are going through a drought. And thankfully we have some water in the car. We can always stop and get more. My plan for today is there is a scenic drive that we are going to do. Let me take a quick look here. It is called... We are going to do the Ross Maxwell Scenic Drive. Let me see if I can show you this. Okay. So, we are blurry. We are here in the Chisos Basin. Sorry about the blur. And we are going to take the road down. This is the Ross Maxwell Scenic Drive, and we're going all the way down to the Santa Elena Canyon Overlook and River Access. So there's a boardwalk there. I'll leave Winston in the car for a short period unless it's too warm. And then we'll go yell over at Mexico. And then we'll head out.
Why are you in a couple? It was supposed to be on my side. Bloody thing betrayed me. I chose strategic retreat, wishing there was a damn check, or would damn it himself. Able to feel much of anything on his skin for a long time now. Even bullets feel more like skeeter bites, rather than anything worth a damn. You know my damn, and if my boys don't.
Alright, we made it to the river basin. Santa Elena, I think. We're gonna go ahead and walk on the paved trails with Winston for a little bit. He wants a WALK, so I'm gonna give him one. We'll see if we can see the river. I took a video as I was driving. Don't do that. Of the it's like a literal wall that separates Mexico and the United States. Like, it is unbelievable. It's taller than a lot of buildings that I've seen. Imposing, but it's very cool at the same time. So I'm excited to get a closer look. The reality of trying to get to the beautiful place is you spend a lot of time awkwardly trying to climb over stuff. And I've done that a lot. You guys ever watch that YouTuber, Tokyo Lens? I always wonder how he live streams so smoothly. Like, is he holding an item, or is it strapped to his chest? I got one of those necklace things to put on my chest, but clearly I'm literally not at all been using it, so waste of money that was. Alright, 10 minutes alone in the van, and now he gets his water. Alright, you might be asking yourself, what's the next plan? Rev, what are you going to do? Well, we're going to go to Marathon, which is the town. And then I don't know. I said in the early morning video that I was going to clean and organize the van. And the truth is, I really desperately need to do that. I really don't want to, but I really desperately need to. And I think that's what we're going to do, is we're going to go back to Marathon. Gonna hit up that grocery store. I'm gonna film the inside of it this time and show it to you guys, and maybe Google and see if there's any interesting things to see in Marathon, and then we're gonna organize the van. By gosh, we're gonna do it. Unfortunately, we have to drive for like an hour before we can get to Marathon. possibly longer. So it's gonna be another hour of nothingness, but that's why I have audiobooks. In St. Reba, we trust.
These are bacon, egg, and cheese. This up here is regular potato egg.
All right, we made it. We made it to the little local grocer, the French company. I am stopping Winston from barking at someone. I did film a little bit on the inside, so I'll put that in. And now we're just sitting outside of it. The drive from the river to here was about 2 hours, and it was a long 2 hours. But we have explored Big Bend National Park. I got my sticker. We crossed it off the list. I don't know if I'll visit every national park, but I mean, everyone that's within easy reach is kind of my goal at the moment. So right now it is 3:30 and I picked up some breakfast burritos. My current goal right now is to get a feel for the internet. I think I may stay here in town, but I'm not quite sure. I think my biggest concern is internet and bathrooms, so I have to work tomorrow. I took today off. Honestly, I need to open up my computer and look at it anyway. But I do need to work tomorrow, which means I need solid internet, and I can access a bathroom during the day. My only concern is at night, especially since it's a Sunday night, that I might be in some trouble. So I'm gonna sit down, give it some thought, and we might leave Marathon and head to like a rest stop somewhere close by that is open 24 hours. I think that's what I'll Google actually. So I'm gonna eat my breakfast burrito and then we're gonna head out. I'm reminded occasionally that I'm living in the future. And I know how that sounds, but it's crazy to me that I can go to a grocery store in the middle of nowhere. Well, almost the middle of nowhere. In this particular case, I finally found a grocery store in Alpine, Texas, which was, I think, like an hour away from where I was. So I did end up coming here. And I'm going to stay in this town for the night because they have a 24-hour McDonald's, which means I have access to the bathroom all night, which is fabulous. But one of the things that often just really surprises me is the fact that I can find things in these grocery stores that you absolutely couldn't find 10, 20 years ago. I went in there and I'm in the middle of nowhere and they had gluten-free items, which was cool. I'm not gluten-free, but like the fact that they even had options was pretty cool. They had kimchi, tofu in the middle of nowhere. Like, the world is changing in a lot of ways, but one way that I really appreciate it is the fact that I can feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere and still get things that I want to eat. Speaking of, I got groceries, and the plan is, tentatively, I have yogurt for breakfast, I have bagels with turkey, a side salad for lunch, and then for dinner I'm going to do rice with an egg with kimchi. I got kimchi. So that's kind of my tentative for the moment. I don't really know how things are going to shake out. But the number one thing that we're doing right now while sitting in this parking lot and hanging out is I have to organize the van better. We're not at that point yet. It's not great. We got to fix it. We have to fix it. I have no choice. I have no options, no choice. Got to do it. So that's what I'm going to do now. All right, I don't actually know when I started cleaning. When did I get here? Like 3? No, I got here at like 5, and now it's 6:45, and I've opened up my work laptop. And so far, it's working. So internet is going good. I have 2 sources of internet. I did not go with Starlink because I didn't necessarily think it would be worth the investment, and I didn't want to figure it out, truthfully. So unless something happens distinctively, you know, I didn't think I'd be in the van for like 5 years or whatever. We'll see. Knock on wood. We're going to find out. Remind me in 5 years. But I use two types of internet. The first is 5G internet, which comes directly from my phone. And then the second is actually an internet modem, both of which I got from Verizon. So, so far the Verizon one has worked. We'll see if that changes. You know, technically you're not supposed to take it around. Otherwise, I've got the 5G hotspot that works for me. So I know you can't see it, but I've cleaned significantly. I threw out 3 bags of trash of items that I didn't need. It hurt me a little bit. It was like throwing out like $50 worth of things. But I've had them in the van for like a year and I don't use them. So I had to make the hard choice. I organized, reorganized. I'm very tired. But the van is in a much better place. It is still not finished. It's still not finished. But it is a lot more livable than it was. So I really sat down and thought for a while. For the last like 2 days, I've been thinking about like how to better this time that I'm spending in the van. And I think that what I've done is going to help tremendously. So we shall see. So for now, tonight, I'm gonna work on a little work, and then tomorrow is my first full work day. So we're gonna test that out and see how that goes. And yeah, so say goodnight for tonight. But it was fun to take you along with me today. And we are actually just down the road from another national park. So in a couple days, we're gonna be at another one. Bye-bye.